for fast, cheap, and reliable Madden 21 Ultimate Team coins. Make sure you guys go check out my sponsor, Easy Mutt. Use code VENOM at checkout for 5% off. Yo, what's good guys, Venomfire here back with another video, and today we bring you guys another blitz and pass defense. This one is going to be a very unique play. You've probably never seen it online, and it's actually interesting because I uploaded the same exact blitz all the way back in Madden 18. I literally uploaded a video with the exact same setup that we're going to be using in today's video, so it's just interesting how old concepts can still work in newer games. There's obviously minor differences here and there, like a couple of angles on how the blitz comes in, but it's just crazy how it still works. So first things first, the style that we're going to be running is going to be a little bit of a unique blitz. We're not going to double flat out of this blitz setup, so we're just going to single flat. Now when I'm single flatting, I like to put my zones at 10 yards. It's pretty good middle ground, if you ask me, between allowing corner routes, flat routes. It defends both pretty well and gives you time for your blitz to come in without giving things over the top and too much underneath. So I'm just going to put my curl flats at 10 yards. Now the formation we're going to be running is going to be the 4-6 normal formation out of the 4-6 defensive playbook. Make sure you go ahead and go to that speed package as well. Now there's one slight problem with this blitz, and it's that you're going to have a linebacker in here. You're going to have to be using a linebacker. That's not too terrible of an issue, but in regs, some of these linebackers are pretty slow, so that's a little bit of a problem, and you will be using the linebacker because this player, this player will be blitzing. Now, when you go to the speed package, there's usually a cornerback here at linebacker, but we subbed in Troy Apke. I believe it's the cornerback 5 spot is the player that goes right here, but you see we got our safeties right here, free safety and strong safety, and then we got 4 down linemen. The player running is going to be fire zone 3, so just go ahead, come out in that. And again, you can have auto flip on if you choose to. I'm just going to be running this out of gun trips tight end. Let's go with a basic double and sail setup. As far as the setup I'm going to run, we're just going to run like a little basic setup, something like this. Now, hopping into the setup, it's a relatively simple blitz setup. And I'll start out with just showing the blitz, then we'll hop into some of the ways to do your backside adjustments. Now, first things first, if you want to press your defensive backs, you don't have to, but if you want to press your defensive backs, pretty much you're going to have to press it right now before you do any other adjustments. So I can just press if I want to. That has to be my first adjustment. If I'm not going to press, then that's not a concern, but if you want to, if you're a player that likes to press, that's something you got to do right off the bat. And so we will do that. Now, setting up the blitz, all it takes is 2 adjustments. I see that my blitzing safety or cornerback is off that right side. So all I have to do is spread my defensive line, and I'm just going to crash or slant my defensive line to the side of the blitzing linebacker. So again, it's blitzing off the right, so I just slant to the right here, and overall that is it. Now, again, this isn't necessarily a 100% guaranteed blitz. Sometimes some weird stuff happens with the blocks. But it is very, very solid in my opinion. So we'll just go ahead and snap the ball here, and you will see Apke. Now this time it didn't work. It didn't work that time. I'm just going to set up very quickly. I mean, it was working very well when I was labbing it. So I'm just going to set up very briefly here. Again, just shift up and slant to the right. We'll just run it stock here. But yeah, this is the animation that you want where Apke kind of loops through. Now that even wasn't super clean animation. Usually when you're blitzing him off the edge, you kind of want him to loop around the right tackle, but sometimes he will go in between the right end and that right defensive tackle. That happens. I'll just set it up again very briefly, just give you guys some reps on the blitz, show how everything works. Again, here he's going to loop around, and that's the animation that you want overall. Now you'll see throughout the video when I'm running this, Derek Carr is going to break some sacks. That's just because Apke's at 64 overall, but yeah, this is the best way to run it. You saw those first couple of times. That first time it didn't work, and I believe pressing sometimes causes some problems. I personally never really press when I'm running this blitz, but it has worked for me when I have pressed before. But yeah, taking a look, this is the animation that you want, where pretty much he's just going to loop around. Now this even wasn't super clean because he kind of tags up on a right end right there, but you see he's able to loop around. It's relatively quick, and it's very difficult to block, obviously, as well. So very good. Again, we'll go over some bluff blitz options a little bit later, but it's just overall a unique blitz. A lot of people don't like to run all the meta stuff, 3-3-5 wide every single game, all game. This is a good combination. There's some good man coverage out of this. Kind of unique. You can get a safety at that linebacker spot if you wanted to. And overall, there's some unique pressures that you can bring off the edge. So, yeah, I'll show the blitz just a couple more times, and we'll hop into some of the ways that I can get it. And you actually can put some of your defensive linemen in zones, which I'll talk about later. But yeah, again, just spread your D-line and slant to the right. We'll go ahead again, just snap the ball briefly, and that time that was the animation that would always happen in Madden 18, where he's going to loop in that inside gap. If you didn't know, Madden 18, Madden 19, very good with those looping blitzes. And this was the animation that happened every single time in Madden 18. You would see Apke, he's going to loop around. You saw the previous attempt, he looped around the right, but because Montez Sweat got a good push here, I believe this is going to be the cause. And you see he's just able to loop around. This is very quick pressure as well. Especially with that 94 speed. You see routes very undeveloped. As far as the 10-yard zone drops, this was what I was kind of talking about. He's kind of started off at the line of scrimmage, and you see he's just defending both routes very well. By the time Waller gets open, he's getting sacked, and that's not open right there. If he throws the corner out at that point, it's a click-on interception. So that's why I like the 10-yard zone drops. Again, obviously with this user, you can defend most of the route combos. But again, just a really good, unique blitz. There's nothing really like this blitz in Madden this year. So I'm really happy that I found this and am able to get success. So I'll show it one more time, then we'll hop into some of the Bluff blitz options, how to disguise your coverages better. But again, just slant, or yeah, shift up, spread your D-line, and then slant to the right. We'll just go ahead and snap the ball again, and this time it didn't work. Like I said, although it does kind of cause some glitchy animations. Sometimes you see Apke almost instant shedded Hudson there. But yeah, it's not necessarily guaranteed. It usually does depend on how those blockers develop. For whatever reason, it was working a little bit better off camera. And honestly, it might work better with this next setup. So with our next setup, what we're going to do is, again, create kind of the same thing. But what I'm actually going to do here is I'm going to put Chase Young on that left end in a zone. So what I'm going to do is just double tap that D-pad to the left, press X, and then push my right stick to the right to put him in a bluff blitz zone. So he's actually going to help me out in the middle of the field for just a stock double in sail setup. Also, if you wanted to, you could put your user on a blitz to get better cutting. Obviously, that kind of goes without saying though. But yeah, this is the setup. I would shade over the top, of course, to get those curl flats on my field. And this is not a terrible setup. The 3-rec hook, especially with an athletic DN, is going to take away a lot of the throws. Again, we'll snap the ball, and boom, we get that loop. It didn't work exactly that time, but you see eventually he's going to come off the edge. So we'll just throw something. Chase Young there to make the bat down. Again, this was working a little bit better off camera, of course. Literally every time I'm recording a blitz or something, of course, when I turn on the camera, it's not going to work as well. That's just YouTube for you. But again, that setup was just the same as the blitz. And then you just threw X in a bluff blitz. Now, I've also got the blitz to work. Just trying out some random stuff. I've tried slanting to the opposite side. I did get it to come through once. But again, we'll snap the ball. Boom, he's going to loop around. Not the perfect animation, but obviously it's going to be better with the 5-man rush. That kind of does go without saying. Although I have got it without Chase Young, so we'll just keep going until we get it. Again, it was working a little bit better. I can also double flat if I want to, like this. This would be an option, double flatting, putting him on a hard flat. I don't think there's too big of a reason to, but that's something you could do. There you see we get the loop. Sometimes with the loop, it causes disengages as well. And I'll just show the blitz a couple more times. We'll get it to go through just a couple more times here for repetition. Because again, it didn't really do well in the beginning. Again, here you see it's going to start working a lot better later in the video. Of course, in the beginning, it's not working too well, but again, just stick with it. Trust me, this does work. I've ran it online a little bit and had success. Again, we'll run it again. That time you see, even when he does come through straight, it's a very delayed as my controller dies. Anyways, going back to what I was saying, I was pretty much saying if he gets that little shoot through the middle animation instead of getting his loop, his initial loop, then sometimes he can actually beat the center out in an outright race, I would say, just getting through there faster. I have seen that happen, but overall, we'll just run it a couple more times, get this blitz to come through. That is the animation we want. Again, maybe these good defensive linemen are actually hurting me. I think that could be a possibility just because they get so much push. When in reality, it'd be better if they just straight up engaged instead of like pushing. But yeah, we'll just show it a couple more times here. Again, we get it to loop around. And with good offensive linemen, sometimes they do pick up the blocks. If that right guard's going to make his block, that's something that you do kind of got to live with. But overall, pretty successful. Now, I wouldn't say it's necessarily an every single down blitz. You can definitely mix in some better coverages out of 4-6, but it's good to mix in every once in a while. If it's like a 4th down, you can mix it in. There we get a straight, but again, it's something that you got to deal with. I'll hop into some brief coverages, and honestly, you can just straight up bluff blitz it. I could actually go with like a double flat, so I don't even have to send the pressure. I could just go ahead and hard flat. I would hard flat the linebacker because I would be using app key, and then I would just put B in a hard flat as well. Something like this, 3-man rush, and you're not sending the pressure, but you still can get some relatively good coverage over the top. But yeah, that's an easy way to bluff blitz it. Obviously, if I'm going with that setup, I'm probably going to want to set my curl flats higher and then just hard flat regularly. But yeah, let's go ahead, try to get it one more time, and then we'll end the video again. I do apologize because it was working a little bit better off camera. That's usually how these things always go. And again, you see Derek Carr is just the best. Oh, what was that animation? Derek Carr is just the best. Break sack QB in the NFL apparently, but yeah, we'll try to get it one more time here. We'll go ahead, snap the ball, and there we go. We get the loop and we get the sack. So even with really good offensive linemen, the Raiders have a very good offensive line. Gabe Jackson, Trent Brown, Rodney Hudson, all across the board on that right side. We're able to get pretty good pressure. If you guys enjoyed this kind of unique video, let me know. Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and peace. I'm out of here.